Welcome to downtown Mesa. Lining Main Street is a quaint and cozy strip full of vintage shops and sidewalk coffee shops that have sprung to life with accents of art and music around every corner. The architecture also plays an homage to the rich history of the historical district.
It's one of the oldest sections of Arizona. Actually, it was in the late 1800s, 1887, when it was first founded, and so it's got older history than most other areas of Arizona, older than Phoenix and Chandler and Gilbert and Tempe, but the history really probably goes back to the Hohokam days, back 1,200 years ago when the Hohokam people were here. They're the builders of the canal system that's used in the valley, and then they mysteriously vanished without a trace. Pretty industrious people, good-sized civilization, and just no trace of anything that happened to them. So there's already a lot of intrigue and mystery that's inherent with this area, just in relation to the Hohokam. Hohokam means departed ones.
As the day comes closer to the end, the strip only gets louder, but if you listen close enough, you can hear the haunting screams and mumbles of an age long lost.
So on the tour, we take everyone down to the VF post and the VFW post, and it is extremely haunted. Out of probably about 35 tours, we get about 11 people touched. From, if you're a woman, they touch their hair. If you're a man, they grab your shoulder. We just had a lady's ankle grabbed 2 weeks ago. And the bartenders, we love going in there and having the bartenders tell their stories about what happened to them and them running out of the building and how they're scared to go in. So it's a pretty interesting place.
The VFW, the bartenders that work there, all of them, there's about 5 different bartenders, and none of them will go down to the basement alone, especially after dark. Just recently, one of the bartenders told us, just in the past week or two, he was upstairs counting, the till after the business day, and he had the cash register drawer pulled open, and the money clips were popped up as he had pulled all the bills out. And as he was counting, he looked over the cash register, and one of those little clips fell down and snapped down. And he didn't think much of it, but then another one went, then the third one went down, and then the fourth one snapped down, and the last one snapped down. And after that, he said he just dropped the money on the counter, locked the door, called the manager, said, the money's there. I didn't get a chance to finish counting and closing out for the day. You're gonna have to go back and do it. He said, I'm out. I'm done. One of the other bartenders was closing up.
While the sprawling surface can give way to a beautiful picture, many of us are clueless to the facade that hides what may lurk beneath.
So first of all, they were used for the transportation of ice and the storage of food back when air conditioning was basically ice with a fan blowing underneath of it. And then later the tunnels were used for prohibition and for the transportation of groups of peoples and other nefarious things. We did do an investigation underneath in and around the Nile Theater, and we discovered lots of electronic voice phenomena underneath of that building. Many different voices it seemed like many different layers of time, from when it was a dress shop and factory to when it was a fundamentalist church, and then the theater, of course, itself.
Going up to the Nile, if you go into the basement, you can see some of the remnants of the old tunnel system. And as Michelle was saying, if you walk all the way through to the very end of that section that you can walk through, climb up on the rubble and look over the edge of that, you'll see a drop that goes straight down about 30 feet to another tunnel that runs the other direction back underneath that tunnel. We saw evidence of that at the federal building that's under construction right now. They were doing a bunch of excavation, and they had dug down to the basement, and they had exposed a arched tunnelway underneath the basement of the federal building that was only visible for a couple of days before they filled it in and it was lost. But while it was available, there's a couple guys that got shots of that tunnel system over there.